what do you do? Oh, insurance. Oh my gosh, I would love to get a quote, because again, nobody wants to pay more than you need to for insurance. And my little tagline is, if it's not your brother, your lover, or your mother, do not pay more for your insurance.
There you have it.
Yeah.
My God. Say it again.
If it's not your brother, your lover, or your mother, do not pay more. Sorry, sisters.
Hi everyone, it's Amy Valdivia, and you are here at the Just Ask Upland Podcast, where we highlight all things Upland Chamber of Commerce, especially our business owners. Did I tell you? Were you listening last time? We are the best chamber in the Inland Valley. That's right, we were voted the best chamber, and I'm so excited because today our guest is going to show you exactly why that is. Today we have Dori Ferranto from Ferranto Fields Insurance Services, and this is a brand new company to the Chamber of Commerce. We're excited to hear about the new venture. We're excited to hear about what's next in this new chapter for her, and I'm excited to have her here. Please join me in welcoming Dori Ferranto to the Just Ask Upland Podcast.
Oh,
Yay!
thank you, Amy, for having me. I really appreciate it. Of course, we are new members for the Upland Chamber, but new name, same people, because we have been around a very long time.
And what is the definition of a very long time?
Well, I'm a 33-year veteran of the insurance industry. Not 33 years old. I wish I was 33 years old, but I am not. But I started when I was about 10. No, I'm just kidding. So, yes, so we are Ferranto Fields Insurance Services. We are family owned. So I went into business with my brother, and he's my older brother, so that's quite interesting. That I boss him around every now and then. Yeah. And my husband's involved too, so you know it's a lot of testosterone, but that big old E of estrogen gets it right in line. So.
I was gonna say, if there's anybody who can handle all of that testosterone, it's the queen right here.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I love that.
Tell me, why insurance?
Well, to be honest with you, nobody grows up saying, oh my gosh, I want to be an insurance agent. It just happened. I started at Allstate in 1989, and I started as a receptionist, and it just fascinated me. I love people. So really, it's a people business. This is not a transactional business. This is a relationship business, and I love to build relationships, and I really love to help people. So for myself, I take the insurance industry. Anybody can sell insurance. It's required in California. You have to have it. It's just a matter of who you're going to do business with. I say we're like Starbucks. There's one on every single corner, but what makes us stand out? We love to educate our client. We take this from an educational basis. Why are you buying this? What do you need? So we are there to be counselors for our insurance customers. So I love people.
Okay, there was a lot in there. Who are you and why
do I do it?
Do you do this? Where did Dori come from, and why did you decide to become a business owner?
Well, that's a humongous question.
Yes.
Huge. Who is Dori? Dori is a very excitable person, to be honest with you. I don't know, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. I care about people. How I got into this business, it really was, I stumbled into it. And so when I started at Allstate, I got a call from Pacific Gas and Electric. I lived up north, and I turned it down. I had no idea. I mean, that job could have made a career. I turned it down, and now I know why I turned it down, because it was meant for me. There's so much information there, and so why I do this, I do it because nobody else wants to do it. I do this because, well, first of all, I need a job, but to do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
I love my job. I love explaining to people, what are you buying? Why are you buying this? Helping them secure their futures, helping them secure their assets. So, you know, anybody can call ABC 123 the Geico, the Gecko. What does he know your intimate story? Does he know that you have kids going off to college? Does he know that you have a new grandbaby that you want to maybe leave your legacy for? That's who we are. We sit down with you, we take a comprehensive approach. That's why I do it. I do it because I am a service person. I love to serve. I serve people, I serve the community. It's who I am. So
when you were in high school and you were sitting in typing class, because we all did, back then. I just aged us. Sorry, everybody.
I couldn't type worth a lick, and now I'm like so fast.
And you knew that you were either going to get a job or not. You just talked about turning down that job. Why did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Oh, I can't work for anybody. I'm a go-getter. I think for myself. I'm an independent thinker, and I'm the hardest boss I have. So if I'm going to work for anybody, work for myself. And actually, to be honest with you, work for my brother too. He's just like, I never realized how much we were alike, but we are. And we both are so driven for success. Nothing is going to hold me down, nothing. So I've faced a lot of adversity in my life, a lot. So I used to tell my mom growing up that I wanted to be the first woman president of the United States, or I wanted to be an attorney. Well, here I am, an insurance agent. Okay, but honestly, you have to read contracts. It's just, my brain needs stimulation, and that's really what it is. It's super stimulating, and it's like a puzzle. So I've learned a lot about myself in these 54 years that I've been alive, and everybody's complicated. But I think that I love building blocks. When I was little, I loved an erector set because you could build. So I look at everybody's insurance, everybody's profile as a puzzle. How am I going to put this together for the best result that we can get at the lowest price, but still have it customized to you? Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. I want everybody to understand, this is the inside information of what an entrepreneur looks like. Because entrepreneurs, they sit there and they build and they look at the bigger picture. You are telling me about an erector set. Most often, you hear the boys talking about that, playing with that. You also talked about you had so many issues going on in life and resiliency. Tap into that. Tell me a little bit about that. Are you willing to share?
Sure. Do you want the full
I want all of it.
Or, well, okay, so I guess we'll go back, way back. So I was raised by a single mother, and she did the best job that she could possibly do. My mom was amazing. If we joined something and we didn't like it, it was, you follow through with that. You are not a quitter ever. So I look at myself, I look at my brother that I'm in business with, and we are not quitters at all. And then we had a dad who was an amazing salesperson. So to connect with people. So we have the best of both worlds. You keep on going, the tenacity, and then you just have that salesperson and get to know people and just love people. So from the very beginning, that's where it started. And just the adversity, just growing up, I mean, with a single mother, it's hard. I mean, there were times that we, had to ration food, maybe our lights were off. So I was made to grow up pretty fast. I mean, I remember I learned how to do banking. I learned how to go to the dry cleaners. I knew how to do all of that. So there was a lot of responsibility. So in my position, what I am now, I take a lot of responsibility. I take a lot of responsibility on for my insured, for my client, because I feel that. I feel a personal responsibility to help them to understand what the value is in insurance and protecting their future. Getting back to the adversity though, and then, a few years later, and I know that you know the story, that my husband and our daughter was killed in a drunk driving accident, and we had to sit through a murder trial. It was second-degree murder, and I will tell you, the Upland Chamber of Commerce is more than just a business community to me. They showed up in droves to support us, to help us through that time. That was the most difficult time I think we've ever gone through. And then 33 days later to lose my dad was even worse. So it's just, but there again, my husband and I, Santo is my husband, we discussed it, and that was not going to define us. They're absolutely not. Tragedy does not define who the Ferrantos are or the Fields. So we are a company, our value is keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, my name is Dori, so I just keep on swimming, keep on swimming. Yes, so that's my philosophy. You power through and you go for it. Having this new business, and I know you know, we just left a business that I was at for 18 years and built my book, and now we're starting our own business, and I won't say it's like easy peasy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But everybody doesn't do it because it's hard. And I will say there are days that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. But that's where I have my brother, where he's like, no way, we're going to do this. And on the days that he's like, oh my gosh, this is so hard, I'm like, no way, let's do this. So being in business with my big brother is interesting, to say the least. So there we go.
I have to say, for the listeners, I hope everybody's listening, because you see and hear the building blocks of an entrepreneur. Number one, I see vision, because you are able to look at the entire business. There's tenacity, there's determination, responsibility. You know where you come from, and you are going to capitalize on that. You're going to use that, and you're not going to be a victim. So many people say, oh, well, this happened to me, and oh, I can't do it because. There are no excuses in your book.
Correct.
And you move forward. And I love that. And I hope that the listeners can hear that. You're in a brand new chapter. You're completely revamping your business,
yes,
starting over. And yet, I know I'm one of your customers. In my book, we just keep moving forward, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's the drive that I've learned from you. And I'd like to explore that a little bit more. You talked about it. You talked about what your mom told you. You never give up. You got to see it all the way through. I'm going to share with the listeners a little bit about your personal side.
Okay.
We're in a gym, and we're doing sit-ups, and we're doing this big ball thing, and we're sweating, and we're screaming, and we're hollering, and grunting. And there's Dori. One more. One more. We got to do one more. You are so driven to do more.
Well, I don't know how to not do more, and that is my personality. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the nth degree. There's no in between. There's no mediocrity. For myself, that is not acceptable to me. If you're going to commit, you're going to commit 100%. If I commit to something and then 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I commit to that? Too bad, you committed to it. You're going to do it, and you're going to do it to the best of your ability. But I will say a lot of that also comes from my faith. It comes from my faith in God, that I know that I am not working just for myself. I'm not working for man. I am working for the Lord. I am working for what He has put in my life. That's why I say struggles.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry to not mean to get emotional.
This is Dori.
All of the struggles, there's always something good that comes out of it. So you can choose to focus on negative. You can choose to focus on the negative. But why? Because you can't change it. So if you focus on the positive and you see what can I learn from this and what can I glean from this and move forward and make things better, that's me. That's me in a nutshell, to be honest with you. I don't know how to not be positive.
I want to talk about two areas. Your passion that we can see. The commitment to the culture of the insurance industry. Tell me how you're applying this to your clients. All of this commitment that you give to your life, your personal life. Now apply it to this business. None of us want to pay for this thing you call insurance.
Correct.
Tell me.
How I apply that is I think outside the box. So I have a client that may have a distressed auto policy or a distressed, something that makes it distress. I think outside the box. How can we solve this? How can we make it better? I take that and I tell people we only sell a piece of paper. That in insurance, that's all we're selling. So the passion that I bring, that's what I'm selling. I am going to be on your side 110%. If there's such a thing as 110%, I'm going to be on my insured side, advocating for my client, advocating against the insurance carriers that try to find loopholes in every claim that they can possibly, anything that they can find. They don't want to pay. I mean, that's the name of the game. But for me as an agent and as a broker, my responsibility is to you and to find that coverage. And there's been plenty of times that I've read the insurance contract, which I'm not going to say most agents don't because I have no idea, but I do. And that is what fascinates me, because you find things in the contract that aren't talked about. You know, unintentional errors and omissions. If you don't tell the insurance carrier something, but it's a complete accident, it's not your fault, the claim's going to be covered. I only know that because I found a claim. I got a claim covered under that, so it worked.
Let's clarify your products. We've been talking about you and Dori and everything else that you about your life, but
well, I love talking about me and Dori. No, just
your insurance products, home, auto, and that's it?
No.
Okay.
So we do personal, commercial, health, life, and your personal insurance is not just your home and auto. I mean, you have boats, you have umbrellas. If you've got equity in your home, and you have to take a look at your liability limits. That's how we look at it. Amy, how long have you been in your home? How much is your mortgage? What is your home worth? Let's determine what limits of liability you need to protect yourself so in an accident, no one's putting a lien on your house. That's our approach. Hey, Amy, you have kids that are in college and they're on your auto policy and they're over 18. Yes, I know mom and dad love to pay the auto insurance for their child, but our recommendation is take them off of your policy. You're exposing all of your assets. So that's the value that I believe we bring. We're not looking at you like, oh, okay, you need home and auto. All right, what do you currently have? It's let's look at the big picture.
Those are some nuggets that I think were fantastic bits of information that you educated me on. Talk more about that 21-year-old child when you remove them from the policy, and then why do I need an umbrella policy? Why would anybody need an umbrella policy? I don't understand.
Well, you want to remove your 18-year-old child.
18-year-old, okay.
Because then they're an adult,
okay,
and they're responsible for themselves. You want to remove them because do you want them getting in an accident? So, real life example. Had a client, I did offer them an umbrella. They had a 21-year-old daughter on their policy, had told them, hey, you probably should get her off of there. She had a very bad car accident on the freeway, and they were threatening to put a lien on their home. So had they taken her off or had they gotten an umbrella, they would have had enough liability insurance. Why you want to get an umbrella is it's to protect your assets. I mean, your insurance limits only go up to a certain amount on your underlying policy. So your underlying policy would be your auto and your home. Then you have the umbrella.
Okay.
So you have to have certain limits. So you have to bring your limits up on your underlying, and then you get that. It's typically $1 million umbrella, and that's your liability. And liability is really your biggest exposure out there. And the liability that you get on the policies that we sell include personal offense, include slander, defamation, and all of that.
Tell me, what's uninsured motorists and why am I paying for it?
So uninsured motorists is when you are in an accident with somebody who is uninsured, it acts as the other insurance carrier would. So it's going to pay for your bodily injury, it's going to pay for your lost wages, it's going to pay for your pain and suffering, all of that. So you definitely want to make sure that you have uninsured motorists, because especially right now, I believe we have quite a few uninsured motorists on the road. And the reason for that is our market right now in insurance is, I've never seen it like this. In the 33 years that I've been in insurance, I've never seen it this hard. So a hard market means that we have fewer carriers and more demand. So what's happening is, especially in the auto, in the personal auto, even business auto, but more personal auto, a lot of the carriers do not want to write business right now because it's not profitable. What happened was 2 years ago, the Department of Insurance put a freeze on any increase in insurance rates. And I know everybody thinks that they get enough money already, and I agree, somewhat. So what happened was the DOI put a hold on rate increases. So when we had the pandemic, the insurance carriers had to give back money because people weren't on the road. They weren't driving, they weren't working. So you had your workers' comp, you had your general liability, you had your auto liability. All of that really was not being utilized because business wasn't being done. So the Department of Insurance said you have to give rebates back. So they gave rebates back because their exposure was low. But now we've come out of the pandemic and we're still operating on mileage that was in 2020, where everybody was working from home. Their mileage was $3,000 a year, which we all know that is not true because we can't get anywhere in Southern California without driving. So they were operating under that. They were operating also under 2019 rates. So there hadn't been any sort of adjustment in the rates since 2019. So the carrier said, kibosh, we need to slow it down. Not that they could say we don't want, that they can't take it, but they're very, very, they're treading very lightly on that until the profitability and until we can get where we need to go. But good news and bad news is the DOI opened up for rate increases. So now we are seeing the market loosen. Okay. We are seeing it get a little better. We're in the same position in especially Southern California with homeowners insurance because of the fires.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
Perfect.
So when we have a wildfire here in California, of course it's going to affect our rates because it's in California. People don't know though, when we have a hurricane in Florida, that also affects our rates because it's all tied together with all of the insurance companies. They have to get reinsurance, which means they then go out and insure themselves because of the losses. Well, when that is capped out, because every company is paying max losses, right, there's not enough reinsurance, so that's what slows down the market, and that's what becomes a hard market. And so that's when carriers are saying, hey, they're at capacity for the liability. I can't get an umbrella where I used to be able to get an umbrella, and then I'm talking commercial now, for $3,000. Now the insured is now having to pay $20,000. I mean, we're talking that big of a gap from year to year. So you have to have an informed insurance agent that can navigate the waters when it is hard. And this is, like I said, the hardest market I have ever seen on every front. It's pretty hard. Personal, worse, but commercial property is coming. So the property rates are going to be sky high, and that again ties back pandemic, supply chain issues, labor issues. The shortage in with labor is a lot of it as well. Body shops aren't able to get the cars turned around as quickly as possible, so then you have people in rentals longer. You can't get the parts cost more because they're more in demand, there's less supply. It all goes together. So to really understand it, you have to have somebody who is keeping up on that.
I was so surprised. Recently, I closed a transaction in Texas. Weather. Their insurance policies were astronomical, more than what we even pay here for a home in California. And they said the same thing. Well, we have weather.
They have hail the size of baseballs
that damage property, coupled with the fact that there were hurricanes in Florida and everybody was running scared. So thank you very much for clarifying. Okay, I want to shift the conversation a little bit. The chamber, your affiliation with the chamber, you've been with part of the chamber for a very long time. We know that networking is key. Tell me how your affiliation with the chamber and networking has helped your business.
Insurance agencies are like Starbucks. I mean, there's one on every corner. You don't have to have a latte from Starbucks, but some people do. But anyway, it's a matter of, first of all, you have to, just because you join the chamber doesn't mean you're going to instantly get all this business at your doorstep. It took probably a good year for us to establish ourselves. Plus we had known people before that, but it really took a good year, solid year, for people to understand, who are you? I mean, insurance is intimate. We're asking you about your personal life, about your assets, about all of that. So they're just not going to come up and say, hey, let me, some people do, but that's not normal. So you have to work the chamber. You have to go to the events. You have to let people know who you are, what are your values, what do you do, and do you know what you're talking about? I mean, I can make a relationship with you, but if I didn't know what I was talking about, first of all, are you going to do your insurance with me? And then secondly, are you going to refer business to me? So that's where we tapped into the chamber. The referrals is where you really grow, but you yourself have to be invested and referring people. So it's a give take. And I will say again, this chamber, the Upland Chamber, we are small, but we are mighty. And it has again, the chamber came to us when we were going through the darkest period of our time. We didn't even know half the people that showed up. We had a huge balloon release for Courtney. We opened our door and the whole street was filled with people we didn't even know. And they were chamber members. So the Upland Chamber, to me, is just far beyond doing business. It's making relationships. It's understanding who everybody is. But actually, I gleaned information on how to run my business as well. I mean, you have other business owners that are there that have been doing it far longer than myself. And so to get that information, it's invaluable. True Dori style, I joined the chamber and I became an ambassador immediately. So being an ambassador at the chamber is something that highlights your business, but you're also giving back. So it's that heart of service. And I truly believe when you give, you get back in some way. It might not always be monetarily. And to me, that's, not the least, because, we all have to make a living, but there's the satisfaction that you're giving something back to your community. And the Upland Chamber is definitely involved in the community. Terry at the chamber, which we all love, she actually connected me with the Cooper Museum. And so I host the Upland Christmas Parade every year. I would never have gotten that had I not been part of the chamber. So get involved. You're going to get out of it as much as you give, and know what you're doing, know what you're talking about. There's never, you can never make another first impression. So if you're going to present yourself, make sure you're presenting yourself, first of all, genuinely. And I know that I don't always come off like the most professional, but I am when I do my job. But I am a fun person, people. Yeah. And I try to make insurance fun. Not fun, well, it's boring, but I try to make it fun doing business with me. I'm gonna do that shopping for you. I'm gonna help you. You don't worry about it. You just sit there and look pretty like you do, and let me do the heavy lifting for you. So I guess I got off track again, but no. That's what I do.
I believe that this whole podcast, of course, we're listening to the insurance industry news. You're educating entrepreneurs. Chamber involvement is necessary. But you hit on something early when you talked about networking. Of course, you want to show up. You want to get to know people. But if you show up offering, helping them, that is when it comes back to you.
Right. True
or false? You meet somebody and you ask them for business immediately.
It's sometimes true, sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to be like
no,
off and on, but
this.
It all depends on the conversation. If it's somebody that is, I hear them talk, oh my gosh, I'm just so nosy when it comes to insurance, I really am. If I hear somebody talking to somebody else and they're asking a question and they don't know and the other person's not in insurance, I will definitely butt in and be like, hey, just a little education here. Generally, I get to know the person, and honestly, they ask me. Because it's like, what do you do? Oh, insurance. Oh my gosh, I would love to get a quote. Because again, nobody wants to pay more than you need to for insurance. And my little tagline is, if it's not your brother, your lover, or your mother, do not pay more for your insurance.
There you have it.
Yeah.
My God. Say it again.
If it's not your brother, your lover, or your mother, do not pay more. Sorry, sisters, you're out.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That was another point you brought up. Make yourself unforgettable.
Yes.
Right?
Oh gosh.
People need to know who you are.
Yes.
Know what you're talking about, but they need to remember you.
Yes.
That's part of the networking that you do.
Yes. Well, I have more words than the normal person, I will say. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, you talk so much. And I do. But that is what I think that's what makes me unique. I'm in this boring business. Really, if you look at insurance, oh my gosh, how exciting could that be? But if you're doing business with me, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, oh my gosh, let's do this. And then we're going to go out for a drink afterwards because, that was a pain.
Tell me what that whole experience looks like. Somebody who's brand new to networking, brand new to launching their business. Oh my gosh, they're walking into this room and there's a whole bunch of people around. Dori walks in, and Dori, I've seen you, lights up. There's a whole room of people. Tell me what's going through your mind and what you're going to do next.
Oh, I just love a crowd, though. I do. I love a crowd. Again, because I love people and I love to talk and I love to get to know people. I see a big room of people and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I'm going to get to know so many different people, and I want to know what you do, and I want to know what you do, and I want to know how can I help you and what can we do together. I love synergy. That's the thing. You have to build synergy with people. So I look at it as, wow, this is great. My husband, who goes with me networking, does not look at it that way. He looks at it like, oh my gosh, there's a whole room of people. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. So for us, we made an impression because I have my husband who is in the corner and will never, even if a mic comes towards him, he's like, whoa, mic comes towards me. It's like, let me have that and I'm not going to give it back. So we made a very good impression. Well, I don't know how good it was, but really, we imprinted on that. We're Santo serious. I'm not serious. I love to entertain people. That's the other thing. I love to entertain people. Yeah, wanted to be president and an attorney, but I also wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I wanted to be, everything under the sun I want to be a game show host. So, when I get in front of the chamber, I'm like, it's my own little talk show right now. That's how you have to look at it. And when you walk into a room and you are representing your own business, you have to walk in with your head held high, and guess what? My business is the best business. You want to do business with me because I know what I'm doing. And I want people to say, oh my gosh, I want to do business with her. That's what I walk into the room thinking. I want people to say, I want to do business with her.
I hope the listeners are taking this and just internalizing this. This is so much fantastic information. This is how you build and grow your business.
Right.
I want you to take the opportunity right now, because this robust personality that we're taking advantage of and listening to, what was it that we got from the chamber under your...
Oh, well, I was chairman of the board in 2020-21 chamber with COVID. Yay. No, we had so much fun. But that is when we got best chamber of the Inland Valley. So I was very proud of that. We made it fun. Again, we made it fun. It was like Hollywood Squares or the Brady Bunch looking at everybody on that Zoom call. It's what you do. And I will tell you, the Just Ask, my brother and I were talking about that in the office, and I got together with Dave Powers. And we established this Just Ask, because you have to ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get. And there's no stupid question except the one that's not asked. So to ask for business when you're in the chamber, that's what you're supposed to do. So to me, it's just ask.
And it's a shift. Whatever the economy is, whatever is happening, whether you're locked up at home or in a recession or in a thriving economy, it's just shifting your business and continually asking. What sets you apart as the insurance agent? You touched on it a little bit, but I want you to repeat it. The insurance agent that we need to be talking to.
Well, what sets me apart?
Yes.
First of all, I'm not a quitter. So I'm going to not just say, oh, here's the bet. Here's what I got. I'm just going to be lazy and do, oh, this is my main carrier. No. Secondly, education. Thirdly, we're going to have a relationship. Whether you like it or not, we're having a relationship. If I don't have a relationship with you, then we're not going to last a long time. We're not going to connect on that basis. We're not going to have long-term business because we're not connecting. That's the main thing. I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you and what's important to you. What are we trying to establish here? What are we trying to protect? I know what we're trying to protect, but I want to know what you think. I want to know where you're going. Are you thinking of opening a business maybe 6 months from now? Well, guess what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what insurance you need. Just because you're a home-based business, a lot of people think, oh, I don't need insurance. I don't need insurance. Nobody's ever asked me for insurance. Well, the worst time to find out that you don't have insurance is when there's a claim. And again, the worst time to find out that you don't have adequate insurance is when you have the claim, because we're selling a piece of paper and it's only as good as when you need to use it. So That is real. I mean, that is the bottom line about insurance, that it's only as good as at the opportunity, or at the point of when you need it.
The Dori in the Disney movie, just keep swimming, just
yeah.
keep swimming, just keep swimming, and she's going here, she's going there.
I will say that is, yeah.
I have some questions. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, I guess.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs.
Beer or wine?
Champagne.
Did you hear that, everybody?
Thinking outside the box.
Blazing her own trail. Shoes or flip-flops?
Shoes. High heels.
Okay. Shorts or jeans?
Oh, well, it all depends on if I have a tan and what's going on. If I'm on Pilates 3 times a week, it might be shorts, might be a mini skirt, I don't know.
How many days a week are you working out?
Well, I was doing 3, but now I'm doing 2, but, and I'm walking every day. But yes, you have to, I gauge it by that. Like,
What's your favorite food?
oh, I don't know, Mexican food. My mom's pozole, enchiladas, something like that.
Okay, and what's your favorite?
Although I do charcuterie really well.
You do. I've had it.
I love charcuterie.
Tell me, what's in the future? What do we have coming from Ferranto Fields?
A whole lot of success, Amy. A whole lot of
Nice.
success. For our future, we just see, again, plowing forward. You plow forward, you get where you want to go. I mean, I write my own future. So as hard as I'm going to work is where I'm going to be. And I'm going to work super hard. So, no, I just see us growing Ferranto Fields Insurance Services. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud to be in business with my brother, which I never thought growing up that we would be. And I love working with him. I love the energy that we give back and forth to each other. And I just got told the other day, Ferranto Fields, sounds like it's like a destination. I'm getting married at Ferranto Fields Winery. I'm like, oh my gosh, can I own a winery? No, but I said, I want Ferranto Fields to be a destination. That's where you want to go. Everybody wants to be there because they know they're going to be taken care of. So for me, I want it just to be top of mind.
Where can we find you? How can listeners find you if they need your services right now?
Well, they can go to www.ffinsinc.com. We do have a landing page, and you can email us at info. There's an email on there, or you can call me at 909-292-6174, or you can email me.
Okay.
Dori Ferranto, 1028@gmail.com. I am using that because I am not tech savvy, but thank God we have tech people in the chamber because they help me. But for right now, because I am just not tech savvy. And so that's how you can find me. And I just want to tell you another little note. This is totally off subject of insurance.
Sure.
But in the future, my future plans are I would like to do a podcast, and I've been wanting to do it, and it's called Tipsy Talk. And it is going to be 5 gals they can talk about their business, but mostly it's going to be talking about what is going on with women, like menopause. What is that? Like, oh my gosh, nobody told me about that.
Are you talking about the hot flash that I'm having right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about everything. It's like, whoa, what? So my first interview is going to be with my mom. I'm going to ask her, why did you not tell me? So I want her to explain that. So no, but it's going to be a great time. I want to get my friends together, and it's just going to be a good girl time. And it'll be geared towards women probably 40 and older, although you young ones should watch because there's a lot of education on there. So, we'll probably talk about business too. But I think that it's important to balance your work life with your personal life and have fun. We all work hard, play hard. That's my philosophy. I work so hard that I'm going to have the best time I can on my days off. I mean,
there you have
my
it.
deal.
Words of wisdom,
Yeah.
Determination, drive, networking, work hard, and have fun on your days off.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much for spending some time with me. I truly am appreciative of this, and I hope all of our listeners took the opportunity to take notes, because entrepreneurship, resilience, determination, drive, those are all things that I think about when I'm talking to Dori Ferranto. So thank you so very much for being here today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.